Just kind of like going on a long and winding journey with the game. That's something that I don't know like how to compare that with anything. Hello, I'm Sam Lake from Remedy. I've been a part in crafting the worlds of such games as Max Payne, Alan Wake, Quantum Break, Control, and currently working on Alan Wake 2. At Remedy, I am the creative director. My background comes from writing. I started out as a writer for games. With Alan Wake 2 specifically, I'm co-directing this with Kyle Rowley. I wrote the story together with Tyler Burton-Smith and wrote the screenplay as a lead writer together with Clay Murphy. Also acting one of the side roles in this game.
Do people still ever ask you to do the face?
Always. It's wonderful to collaborate with Kyle in the sense that he comes from the direction of gameplay. He has a game design background, and then we meet in the middle, and more we step over the line back and forth, but it still like comes from a place where we have our specific areas of expertise. Maybe worth mentioning another partner in this would be Anssi Määttä, who is our live action and cinematic director. As an example, there is quite a lot of live action content in Alan Wake 2, and we have collaborated in directing the live action parts of it. He has the expertise in the area. I look at the big picture, but like once again, back and forth and a lot of iteration there as well. A lot of learnings for me as well. For inspirations in world building and for Alan Wake specifically, the whole franchise and the beginnings of it, I would go to David Lynch's Twin Peaks. Especially now with the third season that came more recently. Just a very specific mix of elements. It kind of being traditional TV, very strong sense of location with the small town, filled with strong personalities, larger than life personas as characters. This very specific mix of quirky humor, but then also horror and kind of nightmarish supernatural horror, all also in the framework of a crime investigation. That to me keeps being a source of inspiration in the sense that you can find a mix of very different tonal elements. Humor, horror, everything across. They can all live in this same experience and be part of it, and it will be bigger and richer because of that. Really the goal at Remedy when we are crafting the worlds is to take you, the player, on a journey. Even if we set our games in the real world and present day real world, this idea that you are going into this other place, something that you have never experienced, a very unique place, that to me always is the goal. It comes from the atmosphere, it comes from setting the foundation so that you can trust that this is the present day real world, and then breaking it more and more as we go further in specific the mystery or the presence of the supernatural or anything depending on the game, that suddenly you find yourself somewhere completely different. When writing the screenplays for our games, in my mind the starting point still is like, you know, as if it was a movie. Even though we do have interactive elements in it, still the idea of, you know, how do you craft a good plot? How do you craft the story arc? These days it's always more the idea of a TV show, because games are long. Alan Wake 2 will be Remedy's longest game to date. Pretty much the screenplay is comparable to 2 full seasons of a TV show. Plus then, of course, all the optional exploration and the world screenplay on top of that. But really going through the story arc, dividing it into episodes, and then writing a screenplay. And first it's very linear, and that's the critical path through it. And then more and more branching elements, more and more optional elements are added along the way. Good world building in games especially comes on many different levels, and all of those levels are vital in creating a believable world. It's about those big ideas on what the locations are, who the characters living in these places are, what is the journey you go through. At the other end of the spectrum, the small details that you would easily ignore and feel that they are not really that critical, they really are critical. When it goes to brands in the world, when it goes to, you know, the style of how characters talk in this world, all of these small details are the thing that ultimately make it believable. The most fulfilling part to me in working in games is the journey through a project. Being there at the very, very beginning, thinking about the idea, thinking about the story and the character and the world with it, and then step by step refining that by directing, by writing the screenplay. A lot of iteration goes into making a game. It's a very iterative process. Being there with that all the way to the final polish and the final product. Just kind of like going on a long and winding journey with the game. That's something that I don't know like how to compare that with anything. Remedy turned 28 years this August. I wasn't there quite from the beginning, but almost. So 28 years ago, at this point, I would be writing the texts for Death Rally, which was the first game I took part in. There are many highlights, many things that I am proud of. But I have to say that just the journey of being able to, first of all, get Alan Wake 2 as a project started, and now having been able to kind of like dream it up and work on it in all the various ways. Hugely proud of everything that we have accomplished. Can't wait for you all to see it.